Well, hi there. This video is about one of those generic car slot racing playsets that you find in department stores. I'm sure they are found all around the world. I found mine in Kmart Australia, and it's interesting the fact that it's one of those things. It's a big toy with a little price tag, and you think to yourself, wow, I seem to be getting great bang for buck here. This toy review was made before I got onto the Microchargers playset that you also see in this review, and I think if you go and look at that and how much it costs versus what happens in this review, it'll have you thinking differently about those generic style toys. Well, as for me, you know, curiosity killed the cat here. I'm sure there are other people who see these playsets and they think, oh, that's a great big toy for little Jilly or Johnny. But sadly, sometimes there is very little fun and playability in these playsets because they can be fairly frustrating. Especially when they have dodgy hand controllers that don't let you back off and slow down enough to play on the playset. Anyway, let's get into this review. Well, hello everyone. Remember, boy's saying hello there as well. He's in amongst some toys. This video is going to be about a car racing set, only one of the ones up on the table, but let's take a look at some of the things I see in the shop. The beautiful Scalextric set there, which looks pretty awesome, is about $160 in Australia. There's this brand new Microchargers style set, which is actually a racing track set. It sells for about $34 in Australia. You can shop around and probably get a bit less than that. And this is the one this video is about. It's a Super Loops, like car racing set. It's from Kmart. It's $39, and it's one of those sets that you sort of think, well, it's a pretty good price, but I wonder how good the toy is inside. I'm not sure if you recall, but I did look at this fairly inexpensive toy train set. The problem was the first one, the gearbox and motor had failed. I think it was more the gearbox failed, but what failed also was the fact the traction tyres on those wheels there had blown off, and this sort of train needs its traction tyres. So it was a cheap toy, so I went out and bought another one. Well, the gearbox is held out in this one, but the problem is the traction tyres have also blown off those wheels. Once you've lost the traction tyres, you've got no traction, the train goes nowhere. Cheap train and no traction tyres equals spinning wheels. So I'm a glutton for punishment when I'm buying cheap toys like that, and it has me wondering, will this toy here suffer the same fate? I shouldn't write off the Super Loops toy yet. We're yet to have a look at it. Sometimes you can get a good toy, which is a generic one. I'm pretty sure that Microchargers set there is going to be awesome. And I haven't looked at Scalextrics since I was a kid. From my memory of Scalextrics, it was a very, very awesome toy. But is it still awesome today? That's the big question. But from what I can see, Scalextrics have got some alien themes going on there. And a bit of a skull and crossbones. And whenever you add a skull and crossbones to anything, it's going to be awesome fun. Before we kick into this, I'll ask my boy, which one of these car playsets do you think you like? Which one looks good? This one. Oh, they all look good, hey? Ooh, but the one we'll be taking a look at is... Good boy.
Let's do it.
Well, before I come in and unbox this beauty, I've actually checked the layout size here. I'm a metric person, so I'm looking at that figure there, 176 by 103. Imperials there also, and strangely enough, that is the same size as this table here, so the whole table is going to be covered in this car playset. Are you excited? I know you're having lunch. Looks yummy. Chicken chips. You know, they never had chicken chips when I was a boy. Well, if you're wondering who's behind this toy, all I really know is that it's made for Kmart in Australia, and also it's got a bit for New Zealand there as well. These are the agents who are behind this toy, and I do wonder whether it is seen overseas. In this playset, that's the list of the stuff that's inside the box. Okay, it's time to get into this and see what comes out. It's supposed to be a bit of a daddy build going on here. Ooh.
What the heck is this?
Oh, yeah. That is one stunning.
I got fly here.
Unboxing, you're fighting with it? You're fighting? Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. There is a lot of stuff. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can't wait to get into this, can you?
Yes.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
we got instructions.
Yes, we've got instructions there. There's bits of track. There's bits of railing. Looks like something to power it up there. More track. Probably bagged with bits and bobs in it. The cars will be hiding in here somewhere. What's under there? More track. Oh, yeah. All I know is it looks like a giant daddy build. Oh, we're getting into bits of track there.
Got the rack.
Well, we've almost got all the bits and bobs out of that boxy bit. What have you found there? Is that a lap counter, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lap counter. Oh. It looks like the cars are in here, and it also looks like there's stickers to put on the playset and the cars. Well, my boy's starting to build the loop-de-loops already. He's having fun, but he's not following the instructions. That's what the $39 toy looks like once it's out of the box. It still looks like a fair bit of toy, but what Daddy's going to have to do...
I don't need to follow the instructions.
I know you don't need to follow the instructions, but Daddy does. I've got to come in and follow this track plan to build it up. There's a double loop in there. There's all the pieces which are in this play set. Maybe I should have gone through to check if we've got it all. There's a couple of instructions of the right and wrong way to join the track together. Overall, it looks like a whole bunch of fun. And there's every language in the world represented on the back here. Well, what I'm doing to help me build this set, I've actually got the box up there on the table and the parts are all over here. I've got part of the track built up, I've got the cars out. We haven't put any stickers on the cars yet, but this is how it's looking. My son's driving the cars there, which is quite interesting. These, I suppose, are your typical, generic, cheap little racing cars. There is a spare set of brushes. Yes, a spare set of brushes there, which is nice to see. But I think the hand controls, once you put those into your hand, you start to understand what you're dealing with here. It's cheap and cheerful, but you know what? It could also be a whole lot of fun. We are yet to really find this out. And I think the first thing I've noted, when you put the track pieces together, it's really important to put even pressure together to join this up. And that is actually explained in the instructions. Well, this is how it's going. It's actually going together a lot more easily and nicely than I really expected. The pieces of track do fit together really nicely. What is interesting, these cars have a bit of magnetic attraction to the metal there. There's actually a magnet in these. And I was a bit curious how the loop-de-loops are going to work. I think it's going to be a bit of gravity work going on there. But from what I can work out, the cars don't exactly stick up there completely with magnetism. I can feel a little bit of help going on there, but it's not a complete magnetic suction to the track. I'm half expecting when this races that the cars are going to have a lot of trouble in the loops, but hey, we're yet to find out and we're yet to race. Well, the playset has come together, and as predicted, it has taken up the whole table. It's actually fairly impressive. It's a bit of a fiddle to get all the track pieces to come together and not have a gap. I'm having a bit of trouble trying to close up one of the gaps, but it's very cold weather where I am at the moment. Maybe that's playing into the trouble I'm having. If I close it up there, it'll creak open somewhere else. Maybe I've just got to go around and fiddle and diddle with the track a bit more. I'm very close to powering this up and having it run, but overall, considering this is a very inexpensive toy, it has come together not too badly, and my son's just having fun, you know, pushing the cars around, which I was sort of surprised at. Maybe he'll get out his other cars and want to play with this playset like that. He's using it more like a road than a racetrack. There are a whole number of stickers you can go and put on this track to basically be the lines on the track, but I'm not going to do that as yet. I just want to see it up and running. There's a start and finish line thing there. And the other thing that was sort of doing my head in when I built this was just to understand how the bridge part works in this playset. There's sort of stanchions under there that you put in, and it's interesting. There's one very high stanchion here at the end of the double loops. If you're coming around, I think this is not the direction of the racing goes that way, but in a sense this corner here is actually a fairly high corner, and the cars would swoop around, go up here, through there and down to the finish line. Well, the track direction is actually that way, I think. Lap counter thing got spun around. Now I've got the thing on the thing, and you've got to power it up for the loop. Oh, and it does that. Well, I'm not going to show you all of the fails that we had trying to drive these cars. It was virtually impossible to do the loop. The cars just kept wanting to fly off past the loop. There's a real knack to driving these, but what wasn't helping us was there was actually a design flaw in the hand controllers, and once that was fixed, this playset was actually half playable. Well, what I'm going to do, because they're crashing so much off the track, off that table, I'm going to put down some cushions here to try and arrest these cars, because all that's going to happen is we'll smash up those vehicles before we see if the playset works. Is car racing meant to be this difficult? Obviously for me it is. Oh well, let's see if I can do it again. Up and power off, uncrash. Well, the cycle of crashing just continued over and over and over and over. It seemed we couldn't break out of this cycle. And that had me come in and think, there's got to be something going wrong here. We can't be that bad a driver. And to me, it really did have the feeling I couldn't get it back off of power when I was coming out of those loops. I was doing everything I could. It's one of those things, you either back off too early and you fall out of the loop, and if you have any sort of power coming out of that loop, well, there's no way you're going to negotiate that next hairpin corner. Basically, on this playset, I was fighting what I call a Chinese Friday special, and they can really ruin your weekend. Okay, let's go. Up and over, all power off.
Together like this.
Boof, there's a slow motion replay. Smack, and you went off.
Can you do that?
And I rolled or something, didn't I? Yeah. You know, it has me really thinking about, imagine if I pulled that playset out and had a look at it versus what I'm looking at, or even the Scalextrics. I mean, I know you have to be careful driving Scalextrics and there's no loop-de-loops in that, but maybe that's what I should have been looking at. What I've done is I've held one of the cars up here with some blue tack, and I will power this car up and you'll see what will happen. Let me get the controller, let me power it up. So it's full throttle. If I take my finger right off, it's still throttled up. If you can see that, my finger's off that controller, but we're still getting power. Now, there's no way you can actually race around in this playset with a controller that's like that. The only way I can get it to power completely off is to basically push it the other way. So it's the case of you get what you pay for. That's probably the essence of this video. A very cheap playset, but it's not perfect. As you can see, that controller will not power off. Maybe I need to open this up, put a bit of a extra spring tension on this, and get that rear stat in there to work correctly. But as you can see, you need these cars to power completely off when you're off the throttle to make this playset, make the cars work on the playset. Well, because I'm a very curious sort, let's take a look inside this cheap controller from this very cheap playset and see what's going on. The problem is that when you throttle on, it doesn't throttle all the way off. It's got to go all the way back. So maybe what I'm going to have to do is come in and make this spring a bit stronger so we get a better pullback, or maybe there's another way to fix this. The way these work is very simple. Basically, your current passes from this point to this point, but when it's going through the wire, you get more and more resistance as you get further along the wire here. So down here is the point, or meant to be off. There'll be the maximum amount of resistance there, which makes the car run slower, and as you throttle up, you get closer and closer to getting full power, which is right there. Well, as I thought right at the start of this review, when I felt the hand controllers, I thought, wow, these feel cheap and nasty. Yes, sure enough, they are. But apart from that, they're actually making this playset virtually unplayable. So what I did was I shortened up the spring, and I made sure that when you back off, it snaps back to no power. That's really important to have on this playset. And even though these controllers have passed quality control in China, it's taken Daddy in Australia to fix this to make it work, and once this modification was done, finally I could drive the cars on the playset. Okay, so it's back to racing with the modified hand controls which snap back to no power, and finally I'm able to drive the car around fairly gingerly, but at least I'm not smashing off the hairpin bend after those loops, because the way the hand controllers were set up, I had no chance of negotiating anything past the loop because I still had power on in the car. So it has me thinking, is this just the normal baggage you get when you buy cheap generic toys? Is that what this is all about these days? But in the end, to alleviate the frustration and anger that this set caused, I ended up just having a smash-up derby with my son, and that was much more fun than trying to race. If I stay down in the danger zone, I might get some footage of the cars coming straight at camera. Whoa! Well, I see a car flying right at camera here. Oh, yes! And that probably would never ever be repeated again.
Here comes another car.
Right, okay, bring me on another one. Let's do it again. Come on. Oh, yes! It's nice driving, isn't it? Whacking the cars in the camera. Come on, do it again. Right in the camera. Right in the camera. Oh! It's up on Daddy's. Look at this. Look where it landed. Can you believe that? Even impressed the audience. It's amazing. Come on. Give it to me. Give me another one. Whoa! Come on, another one. Right in the camera lens. Oh yeah, just past Daddy's hand there. It's a lot of fun aiming at camera, isn't it?
And you put it on the pillow.
I know it's on the pillow. Thank goodness those pillows are there. Trying to do a double whammy for camera. Let's do it, come on. Sure you can do it, yeah. Oh! Oh yeah, and I think that's the way this playset's going to go. It's going to become a smash-up derby playset. Want to do another one of them? I'll put the red car in as a smash-up. You can drive the black one around again. Okay, show us how it's done. Oh yeah, I think we're starting to have a lot of fun with this playset. Okay, go, young maestro driver, do it. Oh yeah. These days on my YouTube channel, I don't really like showing the lower end toys. And there's one thing I don't think I'd ever be suggesting to you to go out and buy these to get a whole bunch of fun. Sure, you may be lucky, you might have gone out and bought this playset and it may have worked perfectly out of box and you've had years and years of fun with it. Please let me know if that's happened. But nearly every time when I come in and buy a cheaper toy, it always seems to be some little problem, one little design flaw that drags the whole toy down. The one thing about these styles of toys is it keeps daddies like me very busy in the garage repairing them to make the children happy. Anyway, I hope you learned something in this video. It was a bit of a different one for me because I don't often look at car playsets. I better say thanks for watching and bye for now.
Please, please,